Hello everyone, I'm Ryan, the DM of these sessions, and I just wanted to stop in and say thank you for listening. If you have friends or family that enjoy high-stakes fantasy adventure, then be sure to share the show with them. That's the best way to help out the podcast. Thanks again. Now here's Riftwalkers. So last time, the party gained a little bit of information from a pair of locals in the town of Dunnan, and although they kept their true purpose and their true goals secret for the most part, they were informed that a particularly evil soul was that of one Count Algier of Almorin, and so they headed east, through the town of Loan, where they rested for the night just outside its borders, and were confronted by a woman by the name of Trystra. She insisted that Vamahk, calling him a Valeling, would never be able to pass through the city unless he was part of her caravan. The group relented and allowed Trystra to bind Vamahk and place him in one of the wagons. We continue with them now, as the sun shines above and you are traveling along the road eastward. The forests slowly give way to small hamlets and inns, interspersed still with a good amount of trees and brush and whatnot, but things start to become a bit more civilized and definitely more worked by farm hands and whatnot, as the expanse of trees and forest gives way to rolling hills and fields of grain and crop.
Luca is walking along with his caravan, and he looks weighed down by concern. Particularly plaguing him is the fact that one of his companions is currently locked up in chains to help him, and he's not really cool with that. He looks very worried and kind of trodden down.
So Trystra is actually trotting beside you on a horse, and she notices your concern, and she says, "You there. You do look troubled. Why so?"
I don't find it particularly appealing to have one of my friends in chains.
Do you even know what a Valeling is? You all do seem to be a bit of simpletons.
I fear that we are, and particularly him, is far more complex than you truly understand. However, educate me. It may distract me. What exactly is a Valeling?
A child, conceived in the union of a human and a kin. The church says they are claimed by Vale himself, and purports also that they are evil.
What great evil have these Valings perpetrated on this world?
Well, that's just it. They haven't done anything. In truth, I don't rightly believe anything the church says, and I'm not inclined to believe them here either. Still, many, in Taylor at least, believe them to be abominations by birth.
So I am to believe that one merely being born of a union between whatever a kin is and a human is, by its very nature, something that is murderous?
Nature? No. I don't believe any being is subject to something as base as nature. We all have the power to choose our own paths. The Count has chosen to take an interest in Valings, and I have chosen to oblige him. Whether one is strictly good or evil has little to do with who our parents were or what we look like. No, I don't believe nature plays any part in it. I'm simply looking to get ahead in the world, and I'll make profit where profit is due. Good or evil or what have you is of little concern to me.
Reese, who had been following behind them as this conversation was going on, kind of steps up a little bit. Well, directing this conversation back a little bit, you had mentioned the Count. Do you work directly for Count Algier?
No, I don't. But after he sent out a decree not too many months ago, calling for all Valings to make themselves readily available at the palace, and then of course none were, followed another decree which then put in the employ my fine gentleman and myself, and gave us the opportunity to become a legitimate business under the crown.
And what exactly does the Count want these Valings for, if they are simply evil children?
I don't quite care.
Fair enough. And Reese kind of slows a bit to fall behind, but as he does, he just turns to Luca, and he's like, she might be one for the dagger later.
Luca, on one hand, is not really ready to joke about the fact that his life rests on this, but on the other hand, she probably deserves it. So he has a mixed reaction of where he kind of shrugs, but also sort of looks a little angry. So he's like nodding, but also mad.
Okay, and then Reese falls behind.
Lirion is by Vamahk's wagon, trying to talk with Vamahk, kind of figure out maybe something a little bit more about what's going on with Luca. I'm imagining at this point Vamahk is filling him in.
any information that Lirion missed from Luca at the campfire or whatnot from the night before, Vamahk is able to fill him in on. And so Vamahk, in your wagon, there are 5 other individuals who look a little bit like you, but you're taller, your eyes are different, and they definitely look to be more human than not, or at least the majority of them. One of them looks quite unlike a being that you have ever seen, with almost gray skin and pointed ears, but with 3 points, like a fork, in the back, yellow eyes, and sort of this luminous, almost bluish-hued hair just streaking down its back. And it looks at you, and it says, "You are not kin, nor man. So, what are you in Broken Fellish?"
Very astute of you. You are the first one in this wretched place that has not called me a Veiling or kin, the only one with eyes. I am neither kin, nor man, nor Veiling. I am a Goliath, from the mountains far to the north. And what are you?
I am the one that they would call a Veiling. Though, unlike these others here, I take after my mother's side a bit more. And he kind of motions to the others who, instead of his, like, shale gray skin, have kind of this milky white, almost really sickly looking complexion. And this one goes on to say, "My name is Mendonan. What is yours?"
I am Vamahk Nugalanati.
"It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Vamahk. I regret that it is in these circumstances that we are to become compatriots."
Yes, my friend. It is regrettable that we must meet like this. But I do not plan to stay in these chains for very long.
And he spits the key out into his palms.
Yeah, neither do I. He kind of shakes the bracers, and you can see that they're actually open, and he's just holding them almost closed.
So tell me, friend, why is it that the people of Almoran hate these Veilings?
It is not universal. Most humans are, in fact, quite accepting of our existence. The Count, however, has stirred up a certain fervor in his folk, due to, of course, his feud with the Baron in the neighboring lands. I regret to say, though, I know very little. Myself coming from far from the west, in kinlands, and not of this human ilk.
The kin, they are from the west then. And how do humans view them?
This Veiling kind of points a little toward the grate at the front of the wagon, where outside of it you can still see a bit past the rider and the horses. And he says, "You will see soon enough." As now even the farms have disappeared from the sides of the roads, and the sun has gone down almost to the evening. These hamlets and taverns and farmsteads have been replaced by slums and the workings of a city, up until a massive wall, where sitting behind it is a grand city that stretches out upon the mountain it was built upon and carved out of, up to the very top, culminating in a great fortress. This could be no other place than Almoran. And as the caravan and yourselves approach the gates, you come to a stop. One of the guards approaches Trystra. Luca and Reese, are beside her, so they overhear a quick exchange, and then she leads another pair of guards back through each of the different wagons, the ones containing, just personal effects and goods, and then to the last 3, which contain various prisoners, both human and then, in the last couple wagons, a spattering of these Veilings, as Trystra has called them. The guards seem to approve, and the caravan starts moving through the city gates. Trystra comes back to the front and beckons for Reese and Luca to follow her in.
Reese does so.
As does Luca.
And Lirion is tagging along in the back still.
Yes, Lirion is concerned about getting Vamahk out safely, so he is staying nearby in case something happens.
So as you enter Almoran, you are greeted first and foremost by an immense plaza. that has sort of a city of its own built inside of it, of vendors' stalls and such, with its own thoroughfares and byways and whatnot. And Trystra points out to Luca and Reese, they call this Sellers Square, where most of the city's trade actually takes place. We, however, will be going a little more eastward, to the palace and the fortress itself, for these are special deliveries.
Very well. We wish you well on your journey. We will simply head back to the last wagon and release our friend.
I don't actually think that will be happening after all. He is quite a strong-looking Valing, and I think the Count will pay a more than hefty price for that one. If I can give you any other pick of my litter, be it human or Valing, what have you.
And the light starts to shine a little bit brighter behind the eyes of his mask. I think you will do just fine with what you have. We will be taking our friend and parting ways.
And Trystra actually orders the caravan to a stop. It's completely inside the city right now. The gates have been shut behind you. And out of the first wagon, 4 more guardsmen sort of clamber down onto the street to join the 2 that were already by her. So now there's Trystra on her horse and 6 guardsmen beside her, staring down Reese and Luca, and she says, actually, you will be on your way, unless you seek to cause some sort of row in these noble streets.
Can Lirion see this at all?
He can see it, yes, but he can't hear anything.
Seeing that, Lirion is just like, uh-oh, something's not right, and proceeds to try to figure out a way to open this wagon.
Okay, well, there's 2 guards right by you, so if you want to be undetected, roll for stealth.
18.
Neither of the guards see you, and then if you want to try to break the lock, you'll have to do sleight of hand.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you have thieves' tools on you, though?
No, I have Tinker's tools.
You gotta tinker your way through this lock?
So roll sleight of hand with disadvantage.
What about Smith's tools?
Roll sleight of hand with disadvantage.
He just whips out the forge and just...
Hang on 1 sec, boys.
Let me get this bellows running.
That is 9.
That is insufficient.
Luca, having heard, her little bit there, he looks at her very seriously and says, I would implore you to think very carefully prior to doing what you propose. And he's staring right at her. He's not even doing like I guess maybe it could be an intimidation thing, but that's his intention is just like thinking about this.
And Trystra goes, believe me, I have. I thought to myself, should I keep their money and make more money? And I thought, yes, I should. And she just looks at you with, like, the haughtiest smile.
Well, looking back at her, Luca just says, very well then, but I would spend it quick, as it will not always be helpful for you.
Does he walk away or does he stay?
Oh, yeah, no, he's gone, boys.
Okay. Then Reese, who is just kind of standing there, turns back to her. Maybe at least have a brief discussion with him before he gets taken away.
Why, of course not.
At this point, Lirion he's still trying to fiddle with the lock. Vamahk, we need to go.
Yes, I agree. While all of that was going on, Vamahk took the key out of his mouth and tried unlocking the shackles.
The key is very obviously too small. So as you, fit it in, there's just so much room on each side that it doesn't even touch a tumbler.
Freaking knew it. Okay. Vamahk is he's kind of thinking, I suspected as much. He responds to Lirion, he says, yes, it would be good for us to leave, but I do not know if that is in the cards. As you can see, the shackles are still tight around my wrists. But perhaps there is another way. And he turns around to the Valing that was talking to him.
Okay.
Friend, how did you unbind yourself?
Well, and he takes one hand free. The other one is actually clamped quite shut. Pure, careless luck.
I don't suppose you would have any more to spare.
He gives a grim chuckle and he's like, no. Sadly, no.
Then it would appear that I am at the mercy of the witch at the head of this caravan. Lirion, do not worry about me. I do not think that I will make it out of here. At least, I do not think that Trystra will honor the agreement. It is through foolishness that I was put here, and not foolishness of my own. But, be that as it may, we cannot change our circumstances. Try to free me however you can, but if you cannot, save yourself. Survival is the way of the strong. Death is the way of the weak. I will survive one way or another. Ensure you do the same, that we may meet again.
Give me a moment. I'll get you out. And he tries to...
Tinker's tools?
Yes.
Well, as
Okay.
Lirion is doing that, Luca is in fact moving back towards a section of the caravan. He is obviously unwanted by the guards, so he's staying far away, but he's in the area.
All right.
I'm assuming this is still at disadvantage.
Yes.
10.
That is still not enough to break the lock. And now the caravan begins moving once more.
And I'm assuming Trystra got back on her high horse, both physically and metaphorically.
She was always on her high horse, both physically and metaphorically.
Okay. So Reese was deterred by the extra guards that she brought out, and he hurriedly walks back towards where I'm assuming Luca has now joined Lirion at the back of the caravan.
Yes. Are you tailing the caravan then?
Yeah, Luca is.
Okay. Lyrion's also tailing?
Yeah, Lirion is tailing as well.
All right. So then if Reese is going to keep up, then he's keeping up with Luca and Lirion.
Yes. All right. I have an idea, but we only get one shot at it if we want to try it. Do you think we should let him go, free him later, or do it now?
Well, what's your idea?
All right. One of you, take the left side of the streets. Try to weave your way through buildings, whatever it takes. Just don't be seen, but keep up. The other one does the same on the right. I can briefly walk through and enter the caravan into the cart where Vamahk is being held. I can attempt to break him loose, and since it's the last cart, we can break him free and escape hurriedly into one of the side alleys. But you two will just need to be ready in case anything goes wrong. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
You can get in and out without any problem.
Well, we'll have to see about out. We'll have to improvise.
It doesn't matter. I told Vamahk that I would get him out of there. So whatever we need to do it, let it be done.
All right. One of you take the left, one of you take the right. We must do this quickly.
Luca takes the left side path.
Lirion goes on the right.
And Reese just kind of blends in with the crowd, but staying close enough to the caravan before it gets too far out of the main square.
Is everyone trying to be discreet?
Yes.
So stealth checks all around.
I also cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay, that's a cantrip or what?
It's a level 2 spell.
All right, then you gain 1 strain.
Okay.
Does that help all of us or just you?
Yes.
I think you gain 10 on your checks.
Oh,
yes.
nice.
Everybody will gain 10.
29.
Yeah, I definitely only got a 21 with that.
22.
Vamahk got a 25. He's pretty solidly hidden inside this crate.
All right, so everyone outside the wagon caravan is able to be incredibly discreet as you tail it out of Sellers Square and it starts to wind its way slowly upward through Almoran.
Perfect. Then as soon as there is an opening, Reese would like to attempt to enter the mist and get inside of the moving carriage.
Okay, you can do that. Are you casting Misty Step?
Yes.
All right.
Am I taking any strain for that?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Then, yeah, so blending in between the crowd, it's starting to thin as it gets out of the square. One moment Reese is there, the next he's not. And then a few seconds later, he appears inside of the carriage with Vamahk and the other Veilings.
The other Veilings, minus the one Vamahk was speaking to, stand up and start making a bit of a commotion.
Vamahk, we need to get you out of here, now.
How do you propose to do that?
How are his shackles, like, is it just his hands are bound, or are they attached to the bench?
No, just his hands are bound.
Just his hands are bound? Okay. Well, we could always try cutting our way out, but I don't know. And he takes a look at the lock.
Well, while he's doing that, Luca is actually outside. He decided to try and make a move toward the caravan to unlock the door.
All right, well, once Reese disappears and a few seconds later, you make it to the caravan and then almost kind of stumble into it as it comes to a halt, this last carriage. The driver has stopped it, and the 2 guards on either side start to circle around the back.
Luca will try to climb on top of it.
All right, quickly do an acrobatics check, please. I'm not going to impose any advantage or disadvantage because you had a good stealth roll.
16.
You were able to quickly scramble on top and disappear just as the guards come around the back. And you can actually see that the rest of the caravan is still moving. It's just this one that's
cart?
stopped.
Okay.
So there's a driver as well sitting at the front with the 2 horses.
on top of this, does the cart go higher than the height of the driver?
The top of the cart is at the top of the head of the driver.
Okay.
So.
He could conceivably sit up and turn around and he could see me.
Yes.
Luca will wait until the 2 guards stop being at the back.
Okay. One of the guards takes out a key and starts to open the back of the caravan.
I guess on the inside of the caravan, do we hear this?
Yes.
Okay, as soon as the cart had stopped and we heard footsteps outside, Reese attempted to not conceal himself, but like make it so that the guards wouldn't immediately see him when they walked around back.
I mean, all the Veilings have stood up, so all you have to do is move toward the front of the wagon.
Okay, he does so to just be behind the mass of people.
Okay. You were able to do so? Is Lirion doing anything as the guards are now opening the caravan?
Right after they open it, Lirion casts Minor Illusion to create a loud clinking noise to distract the guards after they've opened the door.
What kind of clanking noise?
It would be the sound of like a crate smashing into the floor.
All right, so a loud crash. So this draws the attention of one of them who looks off toward the left. The other one, however, pulls out one of the Veilings who's still bound and kind of shoves him to the ground and starts ushering the others out of the cart.
I attempt to pull him further into the cart while also...
Who, the guard?
The guard. While either... Like, did he ever step in, or is he kind of at
Nope.
the doorway?
He's just standing at the door ushering people out.
Okay, then I want to, when it gets to be my turn, or when there's like a Veiling in front of me and I can reach around him, I want to try to grab him and pull him in.
So you'll wait till everyone has gotten out then?
I mean, it was like Vamahk, the guy he was talking to, and then however many other Veilings were there
All
between
right,
me and the
all right.
door.
So then you'll wait till the majority of them have gotten out.
Yes.
Okay, so that takes a minute.
Hang on. I guess as people are being pulled out, Vamahk sifted his way to the back with Reese to have a few quick words with him. Reese, what is it you plan to do?
We need to get you out first and foremost. The city is large enough that if we can get you out, we can find a place to hide. But we need to get away from this caravan.
Yes, but here is the problem. You are in here with me now. They will find you easily.
But they're letting us out right now.
Reese, I do have a spell that I can use. It will conceal you. It will make you invisible to the eye, as long as they do not try to detect a magical presence. You should be able to leave this caravan easily.
Noticing that the group is starting to get to my turn to go out. Very well, do it.
And Vamahk puts a hand on Reese's shoulder, whispers a few words, and suddenly Reese disappears. And then I reach out and I touch the other Veiling and I say, Fortune has smiled upon you today, friend. This will make you invisible. For 1 hour, you must use it to flee, to escape, and survive. And with that, the Veiling turns invisible.
What level spell is that?
A 2nd level spell.
You take 1 strain. Luca, on top of the wagon, you see the driver then dismount and start to move around the back, but also Trystra on her steed and the 6 guardsmen that were with her coming down the length of the caravan, which has now stopped a good 60 feet or so in front of you, down to the wagon where the rest of you are.
How far away from the wagon are they?
She's a good 100 feet or so.
And on which side are they coming?
The right.
The right side. Luca is going to go to the... He's gonna hang off the left side and he's gonna move up. Are these drawn by oxen or by horses?
Horses.
He's gonna go to the left side and I am sorry about this horse. Gently stab the horse on the left in the rump with his dagger.
All right.
He's not only going to drive it in. He's like a stern poke, though. It'll probably draw blood.
You stab the horse, and
Oh my gosh.
it whinnies and rears up and then starts to bolt, pulling the other one along with it. Vamahk, Reese, and 2 Veilings are knocked off their feet and land inside and land on the floor inside the wagon. One of the Veilings who is disembarking falls and flattens the guard that was standing watch, and that guard slowly gets to his feet. The driver and the other guard start to run after the wagon. Meanwhile, Trystra and her 6 guardsmen, now that the wagon has reached them and the end of the caravan once more,
I guess it was bolting.
yeah, they kind of fan out to try to stop and calm the horse. And that horse is going to do a check. That horse critically fails its saving throw, and it continues, and it drives right past, on the left side, the wagon in front of it. However, the horse that it's next to tries to stop, as it then runs directly into the wagon in front of it, and is then semi-crushed between that wagon and the wagon it was pulling, and both wagons start to tip over on their side, the horses losing their balance, all 4 of them falling to the ground.
So that went well.
And wait, let me roll one more check. Yep. And it crushes one of the guards, who then screams out in pain as his leg disappears under a mass of wood and splinters. Let's get our bearings on everybody after that incident.
Can I assume Luca was thrown off of the cart?
You can choose. Do you want to be?
No.
Okay, then roll a dexterity saving throw.
19.
You were not thrown off the cart, so now it's on its side, and you are back, quote-unquote, on top of it. Vamahk is still inside, Reese is still inside, and Lirion...
He was swiftly going after the cart.
Okay, it'll take you like one more turn, let's say, to catch up to the cart.
Okay.
Because it moved 60 feet. And so, Luca, if you looked up, you would be looking up at Trystra, like eye level with her, on her horse.
So Luca on the side, he's obviously been seen, but he does have this horse and this cart between him and Trystra. So to try to draw her attention and distract her from what's actually happening in the cart, he takes out his hand crossbow and shoots it in her direction.
Okay, Trystra has rolled a die. Why don't you roll for an attack?
Okay. That one, son!
That one? Okay. So Trystra waves her hand in front of her, making a small motion with her fingers, and says the word, repel. And you see the bolt just like hit the air in front of her and then fall to the ground.
Okay. Then Luca runs.
Where?
Directly away from her, in the direction toward Lirion.
All right. He bolts off of the cart and jumps down onto the street, heading toward Lirion, as Trystra, quite calmly, dismounts and then circles around to the back of the cart.
By this point, Reese has, while the whole Luca shooting at her thing was going on, he was trying to scramble out of the cart, also being invisible.
So there are 2 veilings in front of you, Reese. One of them gets out of the cart, safe and sound, and then the invisible veiling gets out, and then you are about to step out when Trystra appears, and she reaches out her hand, and she says, reveal. And then, materializing out of thin air, you see the veiling that Vamahk had cast invisibility on. Not yourself, just this veiling. Does that stop you in your tracks, or what do you do?
For a split second, as soon as she says reveal and the veiling is uncovered, Reese does stop, but it doesn't take him too long before he is able to go for it. Probably a few seconds of hesitation.
Well, in those few seconds, Trystra says, what a shame, and she places her hand on this veiling's shoulder, and she mouths a couple words that you can't quite make out. And all of in an instant, it seems like fire spreads along the skin of this veiling in cracks, and then he just kind of disappears in a puff of ash and smoke, and his shackles and clothes falling to the ground around him.
Vamahk, upon seeing this and hoping that Reese is not yet detected by Trystra, actually he goes forward and he exits the caravan.
That would mean pushing Reese out of the caravan.
As soon as the guy got disintegrated, Reese attempted to bolt.
Okay, Vamahk, do a quick perception roll for me, just for funsies.
That's a 6.
You see Trystra's eyes kind of dart away from you for a moment, and then she turns back to you with a smile. And she goes, please, step out, reveal.
Vamahk does so with all the dignity he can muster. He steps out and stands tall before the woman.
So Luca has reached Lirion, and this is happening sort of simultaneously as the Reese escape veiling disintegration. So
Luca turns, pulls out his hand crossbow again. He thinks that if he can distract her for long enough, Reese and Vamahk should be able to get out of there. Maybe now that she's not looking at him, he would be able to shoot her. So he reaches to aim and fire.
As Luca is doing that, Lirion puts out his hand and stops him and says, it's best that we go. Seeing this complete obliteration of this veiling that was once there, Lirion is quite frightened. I don't know if we stand a chance. I don't know where Reese is, but we need to go.
I swore to Vamahk that I would get him out of there. We cannot leave him now. He is already outside. If we can hold her attention for long enough, he will be able to make it free.
And Vamahk told me that we need to go. We need to live before we save him.
There is no way that we will be able to find him again. Once he enters that fortress, I do not have any
belief that we will be able to find him. Now is our only opportunity.
We have no knowledge of where he is going. We have no proof that he is going there. Yes, it's very likely, but we will find him.
How will we find him? This is our only opportunity.
At this point, more guards have come around the back to where Trystra is.
At this moment, Luca feels a second hand lowering his crossbow. Not one he can see, but then he hears a voice. Lirion's right. We need to leave.
Luca, feeling the second arm, both of them telling him that he's got to leave Vamahk behind, he is just completely doesn't accept that fact, and he turns around to the nearest building, thinking, I can get on top of it, I can move forward, I can keep contact, and I'll be able to find a way to get him loose by myself. And, as he's looking around, he turns, he sees an opportunity, thinks to climb, and he says, if you won't help me, I will do it myself.
Lirion goes to Luca and starts to grab him and says, we need to go.
Reese also grabs onto Luca firmly.
For all mechanics' sakes, all three of you do strength checks. Reese and Lirion, there's two of you, so you have advantage.
I rolled a 2 and then a 1.
I got a 20.
I got 19.
All right. Despite your best efforts, you are unable to break free from your companion's grasp.
Still struggling and looking for a way to assist Vamahk's escape, Luca looks toward him to basically admit defeat.
From across the way, Vamahk meets Luca's gaze, just for a moment. His eyes steely, and he gives Luca a slight nod, ever so slight, and it's almost as if Luca can hear the words, "The strong survive, while the weak die. Are you strong, Luca?"
Then Trystra waves her hand, and one of the guards from behind Vamahk takes out a large cudgel and knocks him out with a swift blow to the back of the head.